Gerold, we're here. How are you?
I'm ready.
You ready for the science curse-off?
It's my first time, but I think I am.
I think you do well. You have quite a reading to follow from your last one. You have a fan base that expects something out of you.
Well, I'm hoping the sophomore jinx isn't going to torpedo me here.
Don't get torpedoed. Okay, I think you're all set. You are.
Okay, we ready to roll?
Yes.
Here we go, Chapter 13 of Cosmic Vomit by Don Cheney. Why don't you talk to me, Nadia Comaneci? I asked Alex. Because you and your army of gargantuan snails are always showing off your fangs. Because approximately every other time I see you, you seem testosteronal, Alex said as he cooked a tater tot sandwich over an open flame. Because I'm afraid that whatever you have is contagious. It's as simple as adding 2 and 2. I added them up, but all I got was lamb's wool. How much? I prayed to Gunter Grass. How much is that, Alex? I didn't know how much it was, other than that it was more than 2. But what did Alex know? And when did he start knowing? And where the freaking hell were my goddamn fangs? 2 and 2, Alex murmured. And fuck me if he doesn't come up with 3. 2 plus 2. Let's go, Alex, I thought. Come on. 2 plus 2 is 22. Surely he knows that. Come on, dumbass. 2 plus 2, I repeated. Alex seemed a bit intimidated. I don't remember. I should say, I don't fucking remember. Because this is the science curse-offs. Somebody shoot him. It's not the preoccupation of France, my friend, and it has nothing to do with world peace. Alex wouldn't know a contra if it shot him in the head and then skull-fucked him. The fangs I didn't have were probably turning over in the grave at the missed opportunity to bite this dork sandwich. When it was time to pass out drunk, my mom and dad were always the first in the auditorium. We want to be good sports, darling, Mom told me. And we always want to be the first to start cursing. Being intent on cursing didn't mean that my parents had the most acerbic wit. But it did mean that they had upper respiratory problems. Be a good sport too, my son, Dad said in a bad imitation of Doggy Daddy doing Durrani. Thanks a lot, Dad, I said. Thanks a lot. This visit to the auditorium was etched in my brain, right next to the assassination of President Kennedy and Martin Luther King. It was like a gigantic etch-a-sketch. Let's go, Alex annoyed me. This is about as much fun as cow juggling. I know what you mean by that, frog brain, Mom said. I saluted Mom and Dad and slapped Alex upside the back of his head. Sappho slapped my ass and then slugged me in the stomach so hard I couldn't breathe. Pardon my right jab, she told me, moving her hand to cover her labia, which was emitting a sound of its own. That made Jeff a little nervous. Alex and I weren't going to be able to sit for a week. I looked at Melanie and Tanya. They weren't particularly nervous. They were absolutely nervous. Melanie was now housed in an enormous globe of chiclets, and Tanya was aiming to chew on her when she wasn't looking. Mr. Emerson Fittipaldi was making a scene just at that moment as he crashed into Melanie's globe. He crashed right before he was about to make a pit stop in an attempt to get away from all the chiclets that were surrounding him. Fuck all of you who've come to the first science curse-off of the year. Yay! Mr. Emerson Fittipaldi announced. I especially want to thank the students, the teachers, the friends and families who are here today, as if anyone else would come to this godforsaken excuse for a piece of shit. And I just want to remind you that when I curse at the contestants, I'm actually being nice. All that matters today is that you win. And not that I call you a gutless, spineless, gonadless, dumb motherfucker. If only George W. could hear Mr. Fittipaldi. Hear the passion and courage in his voice when he tells someone that they are crap-eating, chicken-shitting candy ass. Let's start, penis heads, Mr. Fittipaldi said. Remember that when we ask a question, a piece of equipment might fall on you. The size and weight of the equipment has been predetermined. God help all of you. Mostly it was amplifiers that they dropped on people, but sometimes sacks of disemboweled fish tacos. Let's start with some heavy equipment. I mean questions, Fittipaldi announced. Big fucking shit. I'm not even going to respond if they ask me a question. As much as I like to talk shit, I think I'll have to take the rest of the day off, Mr. Fittipaldi said. Does anyone know what the initials SMF stand for? And it's not a single transsexual. Jeff looked at Sappho, but neither of them were stupid enough to answer. Great. Wake me up when somebody responds, Mr. Fittipaldi said, raining sarcasm. Why doesn't someone just drop a piano on these pipsqueaks, Sappho and Jeff? Is Fittipaldi serious when he talks decapitation? Or is he just jerking us around? SMF? Sappho asked. I'd be a fucked up auto mechanic if I didn't let you respond, asswipe. Jeff. No. Jeff was so sure. You respond. You're always running off with the mouth like David Huntley or something. Show us what an asshole you are. Sappho shook her head. This isn't anal retention surgery, just a guess at the answer. A renegade to the end. Jeff pushed his own face into pie. SMF, Jeff murmured. It's not that fucking difficult. You two sure piss me the fuck off, Mr. Emerson Fittipaldi said. I'm sure you have quite weak and similar genetic histories. Jeff looked up after that one. My DNA is actually SNA. Oh, Christ, no. I heard that if you have SNA, you'll get genetically parted out after you die. Why didn't I leave my fangs at school? Why? Jeff's brain was turning into gelatin right before my eyes, and all I had was a cup. I don't remember, Jeff finally said. Mr. Fittipaldi turned to Melanie and Tanya. What kind of equipment should we drop on you two, he asked. That was the kind of question you never want to hear. And neither of them had the mental prowess to answer approximately. Hell, they might not even know it's a question. I thought that, but I didn't tear them limb from limb. Melanie knew that she didn't have a chicklet's chance on a playground if any equipment got tossed her way. Can I call a timeout? She asked, trying to mask her nervousness with a dumbass question. I looked at my parents for the first time today. Dad was eating a sandwich of pig entrails. I looked again, and he was pointing at the equipment, probably thinking what I was thinking. How about something red? Mr. Fittipaldi asked. His voice seemed like he was preoccupied with talking bad words. I looked at Alex and realized suddenly that she was a she. She was mumbling SMF over and over and shaking her head like she was in some kind of lunatic trance. We're waiting for one of you to strategically shave monkeys to answer, Mr. Emerson Fittipaldi said, channeling Blackadder. Even though I knew I was in a public place, I was still paranoid that Eric would slice me up with a paring knife. I wouldn't mind if I couldn't see because he'd cut my eyes out because I didn't like looking at my parents anyway. Besides, now that TV was closed captioned, I didn't need to see anyway. Alright, quiz kids. And for your information, the last answer was stupid motherfuckers. Let's ask a different scientific, investigatory, fuck it. Let's just drop shit on these motherfuckers! Someone throw this guy a sack of tacos. Okay, this time we're fucking dropping shit, Mr. Fittipaldi announced. What do I mean when I say lick me? I know this one, Alex said, pulling her face out of pie. I wondered where my fangs were, and then I wondered if I knew Alex's gender, and then I got paranoid about Eric again. All right then, little Alex, Mr. Fittipaldi explained. What do I mean when I say lick me? There was an ominous silence as Alex turned and spat towards the lectern. Alex, the animated Mr. Fittipaldi said. Look, lizard face, just give me a fucking minute, she replied, and then threatened to kill him, using only her right index finger. I could hear the audience mumbling, and I could see the steam rising from the tops of their collective heads.